welcome to Bishop Middleham Quarry, take 3. This is the 3rd time I've been here. Last time I came I left it too late, everything was frazzled, so I've tried to time it this time. So it's going to be at its peak, I'm fairly confident it will be. So there should be plenty to see, got no real targets, just looking forward to seeing a lot of good orchids. Always a lot of nice common spotteds. I'm not expecting too much, but there's always the odd surprise here. And it's just, you know, it's one of the top 5 orchid sites for me in the country in terms of the sites that I've been lucky enough to visit. So always love coming here. So it's a lovely day, and let's crack on and see what it has to offer. Just a cute little common spotted to start the show off. I'm expecting some really nice common spotteds on this site. I saw some the very first time I came a few years back. I'd like to capture them again. I didn't really do them justice last time. This is a tiddler, bigger ones to come. Another tiddler. This one appears to be a northern marsh orchid crossed with a common spotted, so it's a Dactylorhiza cross Venusta. That is a northern marsh orchid. Good to get one of those early on. That is Dactylorhiza cross Venusta. That's the cross between the northern marsh orchid and common spotted orchid. The equivalent of the Grandis hybrid up north. That's a big common spotted orchid. I thought it might be a hybrid first of all, because there's a lot of fragrant orchids up here, but I think we'll call that a common spotted unless I get home and look at it again and decide it's something else. The only thing that's putting me off really is it's a very narrow flower head, and don't know, just doesn't look quite right for a common spotted, but I think that's what it is. That's what it'll stay unless I change my mind. Nicely marked common spotted orchid. Can't make my mind up whether that is a pure white common spotted orchid or not. I've tried to see if there's any faint markings. I can't see any, so it's probably a white common spotted orchid. Always a spectacular setting here at Bishop Middleham. Wonderful place. Would make a great film set. Another Venusta hybrid, northern marsh common spotted. Usually a Dark Red Helleborine up on this platform, but I think we're going to be a bit early, so grabbing a dark red with one flower on would be a result. Another Venusta hybrid. They're the sort of highlights at the moment. Not seeing a whole lot. Hopefully it'll get better. But the odd Venusta hybrids, yeah, as I say, definitely the highlight of the trip so far. That's nice, probably the most colourful one we've seen so far, and pretty major spots on the leaves, so I think it's another common spotted cross Northern Marsh Orchid, a Venusta hybrid. Looks like another hybrid, but a bit strange this one. There's no markings at all on the leaves, and the stem seems to be solid and very slim. So still looks like a Venusta hybrid, but yeah, what's below the flower don't seem to conform very well. A mystery. These are the Dark Red Helleborine. There are lots of them, but they're all sort of in this position of not having opened yet. The buds at the bottom are starting to colour up, but that's got to be at least 10 days before it even starts to flower. So we're going to do very well to find anything today that is showing a flower, but you never know. That's a big one. Is that flowering? Hello, we're in luck. Dark Red Helleborine in flower. There you go, Dark Red Helleborine in flower. I was not expecting to find one today. That's a nice bonus. It's a rare one. There aren't many sites that have Dark Red Helleborine. This is the spiritual home, without a doubt. There are more of these at Bishop Middleham than any other site that I'm aware of anywhere in the country. July time, there's just huge numbers in flower here. We're a bit early. That's good. Slightly better common spotted, at least there's a bit of size on this one compared with what we've seen so far. Been surprised by the complete lack of fragrant orchids. They are running later than they usually run here. Yet to see one open, but that is a fragrant orchid. Probably a chalk fragrant. They do have Marsh fragrant here as well. I can't really tell until that opens up. That's a classic womble-faced common spotted orchid in all its glory. You know, I'm struggling a bit when I shoot pyramidal orchids, but they're here, so got to get them in the can, as it were. Wasn't sure what that was from the distance, but it has spotted leaves, a solid twiggy stem, although those flower markings and the shape of the lip was a bit round, and I thought this is something weird. I think it's just a common spotted orchid. Just a common spotted orchid, just a colourful one. Quite a big lollipop of an orchid in there, but it's precariously on the side of a slope, so you're going to have to abseil down, have a look at that. There you go. I thought it was just a common spotted, but it's got a hollow stem, so I'm going to call that as a hybrid with the Northern Marsh, a Venusta hybrid. Bit of a pyramidal lollipop. Quite a lot of these are out. Different orchids seem to be either on time, ahead of time, or behind time. It's a right mixed bag. I thought this was going to be a proper pure Northern Marsh orchid because it's got no spots at all on the leaves, but the flowers, I don't know, I'll call it a tentative Northern Marsh. There's not too much curling of the lip to give those straight edges, but with a clean leaf it can't really be the hybrid, so what else can it be but a Northern Marsh orchid? Right, that's upstairs done. Not great, A bit like watching the Euros really, as an England fan, full of expectation and excitement, and when you get there it's all a bit boring. Yeah, not a lot happening, even though we've been here before, more or less on this day, when it's been full of big, fat, colourful, common spotted orchids. I mean, there's plenty here, but they're certainly not big and fat. They're short and stumpy and not very colourful. So that's been disappointing. The fragrant orchids are not out, but I think when we get down on the bottom layer, there's a kind of different sort of eco climate down there, and I'm just going to stay fingers crossed that they might be out down there. And there's always one or two other things, such as bee orchids and whatever. It's just a different setup downstairs, but upstairs disappointing, apart from the Dark Red Helleborine, which was a bonus. So I'm going to make the jump now, and I'll see you at the bottom. Right, we landed. Let's see what downstairs has to offer. It's a nicely coloured two-tone common spotted. There used to be quite a few of this sort of colour scheme here in the past, but this is the first one I've seen. Very nice. Some big lollipops over there. Gonna have a look what they are. Start with that one. It's got nice clean plain leaves. It's a Northern Marsh orchid. Yeah, I tend to favour the darker bluer purple ones as Northern Marsh, sorry. But yeah, it cannot be anything but a Northern Marsh orchid. Very nicely marked as well. Nice pair of common spotteds. A bit bigger than what we saw upstairs as well. Hope that's a good omen. I was going to say that was a common spotted orchid, but it's a bee orchid by the looks. Boom boom tish. There you go. Downstairs saves the day. A chalk fragrant orchid. Only just opening, but it's definitely opening. Seemingly a little bit more advanced than our upstairs. Another one just opening. Another fragrant orchid opening up. Got into trouble before here calling chalk fragrance and marsh fragrance the wrong way around, because they're both here on the site, and this has got more of a marsh fragrant colouring. It's very difficult till the flowers are out, to be sure, but there are a lot of flower buds on this, and I suspect that is more than possibly a marsh fragrant orchid. I will check up and stick it on the bottom of the screen, but I think it is. Could be wrong. A nice colourful scene. Quite a few pyramidals in there, a few others that I will go and check out. Nice pink pyramidal. A squat little common Twayblade. First one of these I've seen. And there's another one. Northern Marsh orchid cross, common spotted orchid, the Venusta hybrid, without a doubt. Leaves absolutely trashed in spots. Spotted leaves. I know it's got a hollow stem, I've checked it already. It's a hybrid, we know that already. And it's Northern Marsh cross, common spotted. Lovely markings, as all these hybrids have. The Venusta hybrid is a spectacularly marked orchid, always is. Another little hybrid. I'm pretty certain now these are Marsh Fragrant orchids. If I am wrong, I'll correct it on the screen, but I'm sure these are Marsh Fragrant. There's too many flower buds on them. And I've seen one or two that are growing to nearly 18 inches or so tall, which Marsh Fragrance will do and more. That is definitely a very, very pure white, common spotted orchid, no doubt whatsoever. Very clean. And as with all white common spotteds, the leaves are clean, no spots. There just isn't any pigmentation in this plant at all to either mark the flowers or the leaves. Another Dark Red Helleborine just sneaking out. One of the, I think it's 2,300, someone told me, that were counted here last season. There's easily that number here again, they're just not in flower yet. What a spectacular setting. You kind of expect a dinosaur to appear in the next Jurassic Park. Absolutely superb. Right, I think we'll get out the heat now. Giving it a good going over. The downstairs is better than the upstairs, that's for sure. Everything's a little bit bigger. You got the fragrant orchids out, and couldn't find any bees. I know they're here, but I can't find them. And absolutely loads of Dark Red Helleborines not in flower, apart from the one we just sneaked a shot of a lower flower on. Overall though, site was disappointing in terms of my expectations. It just goes to show, I spoke to a local on the way around and he said, you know, you could come back the following year and find a completely different set of orchids to what you saw on the same day the year before. I don't mean different orchids, I mean, you know, some will have been out in flower one year and the next year they're not, and vice versa. So it's a bit hit or miss. I think in another 2 or 3 weeks time you'd have a lot of really nice fragrant orchids out. You'd have all the Dark Red Helleborines, but you'd have probably lost the common spotted. So it swings and roundabouts, depends what you're looking for, but it's good to come back. And yeah, it's an enjoyable walk, even if it's a warm day. So thank you very much for joining me and for sharing this one with me. And I'm going to move on to another site somewhere in this area next. I haven't made my mind up yet, but I will hopefully see you then.